Yes, well, hello everybody. Welcome to another CrackFilm.com video. I am the editor-in-chief of CrackFilm.com and CrackFilm Video here on YouTube. My name is Dominick Summa, as you can see right here. And basically what we do on this channel and on this episode in particular, we break down all the latest movie news in the world of movies today. And we discuss them, but I tell you how I feel about them, what I think they mean, and a bunch of other cool stuff. So if you've watched any of our other videos, we've done a movie news video already a couple days ago, and then yesterday or 2 days ago we came out with our first editorial video that I did, breaking down my 5 most anticipated movies for the rest of the year. So if you haven't checked that out, I encourage you to do so. Also, if you haven't been to our website, crackfilm.com yet, it's a great site. I read it every day, and you should too. So go ahead and check that out. Become a subscriber. Go ahead and enter your email in the portal on the home page, and you will get all the updates. You'll be the first to know about any videos we do here on YouTube, any posts there, any special giveaways, cool stuff like that. It's a great site. Highly recommend it. But today, like the title says, we'll be breaking down some of the big stories in the world of movie news. And let's see, what do we have here first? Okay, so a lot of promotional stuff has been coming out recently for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, which of course doesn't actually come out in theaters till March 25th of next year, 2016. And if you have internet at all, you've probably seen the newest Batman v Superman trailer that they dropped at Comic-Con, which is fantastic, I must say. I really wish we had the channel up and ready, because maybe I'll still do a review for that trailer a little later. We'll see. But anyway, the trailer was incredible. So, and then after that, well, before that actually, they had a featured spread in Entertainment Weekly that showed us a pretty good look at the new Batman suit, a still image of Lex Luthor, and yesterday, I believe, the cover, or 2 days ago, the cover for the new issue of Empire magazine, an entertainment magazine as well, just like Entertainment Weekly, Batman and Superman were on the cover promoting the movie. And take a look at it. Yep, there it is. And what do I think about it? So let's start with the cover. I think it looks good. I'm kind of tired of all the stuff that they're showing right now, to be quite honest. Obviously, I'm incredibly excited for the movie and can't wait till it comes out. But, I've been getting this question a lot, and that question, of course, is, are they showing too much too early? And I think the bigger issue here is not the too much, it's the too early. If they were showing us all this 4 or 5 months before the movie comes out, I'd say, yeah, that makes sense. But here we are, towards the end of July, a full 8 months away from the movie, and we've seen more from Batman v Superman than we have from Star Wars, which comes out in 4 months? A little over 4 months. So I am a bit worried. I said earlier after they dropped that trailer at Comic-Con, hey, don't expect much from Batman v Superman after this, because I think they've kind of blew their proverbial load a little bit early, which, is a problem for some people. But these images, it's not giving away too much. We've already seen Batman. We know he looks great. Obviously, we've seen Superman before. We had a whole movie with him in it a couple of years ago. And yeah, the more interesting to me was the picture of Lex Luthor. And that picture obviously shows him in one of his buildings. How do you know it's one of his buildings? I don't know, maybe the big LexCorp logo on the back. But what the Lex Luthor that a lot of us thought we were going to be getting is the traditional Lex Luthor, a little bit older, bald, which isn't that important in hindsight, but it's what we thought we might have got, and one of these traditional billionaire sorts. But judging by by the couple trailers we've got already, and this image particularly, this Lex Luthor is going to be a lot different than any Lex Luthor we've gotten before. And different how, you might ask? I'd say he's going to be one of these young these young new generation billionaires. I mean, he looks, I know it's cliche to say, but he looks like a Mark Zuckerberg, you know. He looks like that guy who founded Twitter in his 20s, you know, those kids who just sold Snapchat for $1 billion, or, you know, one of those. There's new ways to make money. There's a whole new wave of young billionaires, young people with a lot of money. And, you know, you combine the youthfulness of these people with large sums of money, and they don't always make the best decisions, which is, I think, something these films might dive into a little bit. And for me, it's refreshing to see, because, you know, the past Lex Luthors we've had, Gene Hackman and Kevin Spacey, they were good, but they were kind of similar. They're kind of similar characters. And so this new Lex Luthor we're going to get looks to be a lot different. And Jesse Eisenberg, I like Jesse Eisenberg. He's a solid actor. You haven't really seen him play a villain yet. I mean, unless you count Now You See Me, and Social Network, I guess. He was a douchebag, but not necessarily an evil person. And it's funny that I said he looks like Mark Zuckerberg, but you should know why. But I like these images. Excited for the movie. Nothing's really going to change that. So, moving on. So, some of you may know that we're getting another Bourne movie, I think next year. Pretty sure next year. And it's not going to be with Jeremy Renner like the last one was. It's going to have Matt Damon, directed by Paul Greengrass, who directed the first couple. And I like the Matt Damon Jason Bourne films a lot better than I like Bourne Legacy with Jeremy Renner, which was still a solid film, but obviously I thought the Bourne films with Matt Damon were far superior. And so I'm excited that we're getting another one of those. But the news that came out earlier today about that movie is that it added a new cast member, and that cast member just happens to be one of the great actors of the past 30 years, Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones of No Country for Old Men, Men in Black, Lincoln. You know who Tommy Lee Jones is. He's a fantastic actor, and you know they didn't say what role he would be playing, but I gotta think it's either going to be one of two things. It's either going to be some top government official on the hunt for Jason Bourne or some crap like that, or maybe it's going to, or I think the other possibility is maybe playing like his grandpa or something, or some kind of old friend that he goes and hides out with for a while. That's just what I'm thinking. Who knows? He could be playing the janitor in a hospital somewhere. You don't know. But it's never a mistake to add talent to your movie, and Tommy Lee Jones he's older now, but he's still a world-class talent, and adding him to your film can only make it better, I think. So, interesting casting decisions, not something any of us foresaw. He hasn't really been doing much lately, but I think it says a lot about the script for this movie and what Greengrass and Damon, what their vision is for this movie, that it could attract a talent like Tommy Lee Jones, who isn't really doing much these days. So, overall, I'm pretty excited about this news. I think it can only mean good things for the movie, and my anticipation went up a little bit, not going to lie. So, that's awesome. Next, we have Gambit. Now, if you saw X-Men Origins Wolverine back in 2009, Gambit was in there. He's a mutant in the X-Men world. And he was played by Taylor Kish, who's from Friday Night Lights and that brilliant movie Battleship, and he played John Carter. So basically he's been in a lot of flops, and right now you can actually catch him in True Detective Season 2, which I don't watch, but I heard he's pretty decent in it. And I've overall liked him as an actor. He hasn't been anything spectacular, but he's not playing Gambit in this movie. Gambit is being rebooted, and who do they get to play Gambit this time around? Who, by the way, a little backstory on Gambit. He's a French dude, mutant, who lives in Louisiana, the Raging Cajun, or I think that's what or maybe that's like a seasoning of some food. I don't know. Anyway, he's from Louisiana, and his power is like manipulating kinetic energy, and he has his signature move is like throwing energized playing cards at people and they explode, and he has a stick, and he's an odd character. I don't really know too much about him, except that he's getting his own movie, in the fall of next year. October 2016 is when it's supposed to come out, and my interest was inevitably piqued when they announced who was going to be playing him, and he's being played by none other than Channing Tatum. Yes, Channing Tatum, most recently from Jupiter Ascending, or 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, Magic Mike. I guess that was more recent than Jupiter. Yeah, Channing Tatum, probably heard of him. He's going to be playing Gambit, and we haven't seen any promotional art or any concept art or a poster or a trailer. We do have a director. It's being directed by Rupert Wyatt, whose most famous work is probably Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He directed that. Did a fantastic job, and most notably because nobody was really excited for that movie. Nobody had any hopes for that movie when it was coming out, but then it came out. People watched it and they loved it. They loved what Rupert Wyatt did with that movie, and it sparked a great franchise. One of the strongest franchises we have right now, Planet of the Apes. The last one, which was directed by Matt Reeves, was fantastic, and it had a lot to do with what Rupert Wyatt set up in that first one, setting up the Caesar character, directing Andy Serkis. Great movie, good director. So he'll be directing Channing Tatum in this movie, and the news that came out about it today was that they're going to start shooting it soon, which is encouraging, because when they announced Channing Tatum as Gambit, we didn't hear any news about the movie after that until today. So a lot of people were starting to worry that maybe they were going to have to push it back because they couldn't get all the actors together to start shooting, or they were having script problems, vision problems, how it was going to tie in with the rest of the X-Men universe. So basically how this was announced was a casting call for the movie went out saying when the shoot date was going to start. So they're looking to start casting the rest of the movie, the smaller characters, but they have their director, they have their star, and they're about to start shooting in the fall. So that's encouraging. A lot of people were starting to worry this movie was never going to get made, or at least inevitably pushed back, which happens a lot more often these days, these movies getting pushed back, because they come out with these release dates way in advance, and sometimes, it's all good on paper, and then they actually start to try and make the movie, and they realize it's not going to go as smooth as they anticipated, and they have to push it back, which is never makes you look good to push your movie back. So, yeah, good news for Gambit. I'm excited for that movie. Okay, next story. This scoop was actually reported by El Maimbe, the famous El Maimbe, formerly of Latino Review, and now who runs his own site, HeroicHollywood.com. Great site. You should go check it out. He reported on this a couple weeks ago that Rachel McAdams, from Sherlock Holmes, from The Notebook, from Wedding Crashers, Rachel McAdams was being eyed to be the female lead in Doctor Strange, opposite Benedict Cumberbatch, which comes out in November of next year, 2016. And basically, HeroicHollywood.com reported it, said that they were in talks, and now that those talks have been confirmed by Variety, that she did in fact meet with them. Nothing has been officially announced, but the fact that McAdams was up for the part and has talked to Marvel is encouraging. And a lot of people have been speculating that McAdams is actually going to go ahead and end up getting the part. And so once again, this is not confirmed. McAdams has not signed on to be in Doctor Strange or any Marvel movie, but all signs are pointing towards that she eventually will. So if she will, we will definitely comment on that, but I'm going to go ahead and talk as if she is. So what do I think about it? I like it. Rachel McAdams has done some good roles, some not so good roles. I have never seen The Notebook. I never plan on seeing The Notebook, but I really liked her in Wedding Crashers, which is one of my all-time favorite comedies. And obviously, she wasn't the strongest part in that movie. That goes to, Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn, and Bradley Cooper, actually, who was fantastic. But I really liked Rachel McAdams in the Sherlock Holmes movie, the first one. I mean, she was in the second one, but if you've seen the movie, she doesn't have a big role. Let's just say that. So basically the thing I'm most worried about is how her chemistry would be with the guy who's playing Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch. And to be honest, I don't see it. That's not to say she's going to be a love interest just because she's the female lead in a Marvel superhero movie. Doesn't mean she has to be the love interest, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that's what she would be playing. They're both two very good looking people. But I don't see a fit. The comparison really makes me think of the Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman relationship in the Thor movies, which absolutely does not work at all. Natalie Portman is a very attractive woman. Chris Hemsworth is obviously an attractive guy. Sexiest man alive, I think, a year or two. Maybe it was I don't know. But it wasn't about their looks. They're both good-looking people. But the chemistry when they were on screen, how they interacted with each other, it was weak. And easily the weakest part of the Thor movies to me, except for the villain in the second one, who was god-awful. Jesus. But nevertheless, Rachel McAdams, she's a good actress. She's very solid. I think she could do well in Doctor Strange. I'd like to see them go after someone maybe who isn't as well known, because you have your star, Benedict Cumberbatch. He's your star. He's your draw. You don't really need anyone else. And you have Tilda Swinton in the role too, or in the movie. She's going to be in that. Another very tremendous actor. But I would like to see them go for a little less well-known actress, someone who doesn't pop on screen as easily as Rachel McAdams does, because you're not going to be able to hide her. You're gonna know who it is. It's Rachel McAdams. Everyone knows who she is. Everybody knows. You can't hide Benedict Cumberbatch. That dude has one of the weirdest looking faces in Hollywood, and he's attached to like 100 different movies right now. You can't get away from him. So overall, once again, this isn't confirmed or anything. She hasn't signed on to the movie. It just looks like she is. And if it does end up happening, I'm not going to throw my arms up in the air and in disgust. I just think they could cast better. She's not my first choice. But overall, it's a safe choice. It's a solid choice. So whatever. Okay. Another thing I want to touch on, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation comes out on Friday. And early reviews have started coming out about it. And I am so surprised at how good the reviews have been. Every Mission Impossible movie has been pretty good, I'll say. And they've had decent critic ratings, decent user ratings, and they've been solid movies. But I'll tell you, some of the reviews I've been reading for the newest one, the one that comes out in 3 days, it makes it sound like it's the next Avengers, like the next Dark Knight, the next Die Hard, which is great. I hope when I go see it, it's going to knock my socks off, blow me away. That's what I want. But, I've never been the biggest fan of the Mission Impossible movies. I think they're solid. They have good action. The characters are interesting. The stories have been decent. But they've never, been my favorite. They're not my top 10 franchises or even close. But, the movies, I will say this, though. The movies have been, ever since the third one, the movies have been getting better. 3 and 4 have gotten progressively better. And if 5's even better than those, we could have a really good movie. Tom Cruise is an action star. He's a juggernaut. He's a freak. He's awesome. My favorite Tom Cruise role still is him playing Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder. One of the greatest like surprise. It's too big a role to be called a cameo, but one of the greatest like side characters ever. I would pay $20 for a ticket to go see a Les Grossman standalone movie. He's that interesting. So Tom Cruise is the man. Hope he keeps making movies. Hope he keeps making Mission Impossible movies. So that's pretty much all the news I had picked out for today. Again, a lot of interesting stuff going on. You had the Batman v Superman images. Tommy Lee Jones joins the Bourne franchise. Gambit starts shooting in a couple months. Rachel McAdams is being eyed as the female lead in Doctor Strange. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, probably going to make a shit ton of money this week and is blowing the critics away at the same time. Exciting time to be a fan. It really is. So, looking ahead... one more thing I want to say. It was announced either yesterday or 2 days ago that the embargo for the Fantastic Four reviews lifts the Thursday before the movie comes out, which historically and traditionally, if a movie's good, the studio will let critics see it early and then have them post their reviews before the movie comes out so it can build some hype leading up to the film's release. And then also historically and traditionally, when a movie doesn't let critics see it or review it until a day or two before the movie comes out, that usually means it's crap. And they don't want critics to talk because they're only going to talk negatively about it. So this news that this Fox isn't letting anyone see it until a day before it comes out is concerning. Now, I mean, does that mean the movie's going to be bad? No, it doesn't. But if we look at history and other movies that have done the same thing, it doesn't look well. But I'm going to walk in there to see Fantastic Four with an open mind, regardless of what anybody else has said, and give it a fair shot, like I do with every movie. I mean, I had heard a bunch of terrible reviews for Amazing Spider-Man 2, and when I walked in and saw that, they were right. It was awful. But I read a bunch of negative reviews for Ted 2 as well. I walked in with an open mind, saw that, and I really liked it. You know, that's a little different. Comedy is more subjective than I think the other genres of movies are. You know, what one person finds funny, you know, some other person might not find funny. So, and Seth MacFarlane, Ted 2 is probably a bad example, but Seth MacFarlane has a very specific kind of comedy and a specific humor that, you know, not everybody likes, that I just so happen to find hilarious. And I personally love it. So, bad example, but basically the gist of it is, you know, film is subjective. So I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. You can find this video on our website, crackfilm.com. You can find it here on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel here at CrackFilm, and also subscribe to our website. And by becoming a subscriber, you become the first person to know anytime we post anything, little special editorials, you know, top 5 lists, special giveaways, movie reviews, TV reviews, which the TV reviews will be back in the fall once all the big TV shows, you know, start again. And yeah, be sure to comment what you think about all this news, what you think about the show, how we can be better. And because I love to hear from the fans. I love to hear suggestions, because that's how you get better, folks. Suggestions, you know, it's a group effort. I want to be better for you, but you guys got to help us. It's just how it works. So once again, my name is Dominick Summa, editor-in-chief of CrackFilm.com and CrackFilm Video here on YouTube. And until next time, I'll see you later.